Hello, dear students, and welcome to the Test Prep Card. Today, we have brought a very important lesson for all of you, that is the basic transformation. So, this is a very important topic for the IB, AA, and AI for both the streams and for SL and HL for both the category students. So, basic transformation is a very important subtopic of the unit function, and definitely a short question always comes in the examination from this particular topic. So we're going to revise it within 5 minutes and then we'll be able to solve any question that comes under this topic. So let us start. So here you can see that I have made a table where one table is related to the vertical transformation and the other table is what we have regarding the horizontal transformation. So we will quickly see first the vertical transformation and then we'll quickly see the horizontal transformation. But first thing first, that what exactly transformation is. See, what we are doing, that we know how to draw the graph of any function, but it is always a tedious task because we need to find the intercept, then we need to say it's increasing or decreasing in nature, so we have to predict a lot of things, right? Then how to make this process simple? See, if you know the graph of a very basic function, let's say x square, then with the help of that and with the help of the transformation, then you can easily draw the graph of any transform function like 2x square minus 5 or x square by 4 plus 4. So if I make any changes to the x square function, then I'll be able to draw the graph of the new function with the help of the transformation. So let us quickly see that how the transformation helps us. Now, let us say you have a function. If I add a particular constant to the whole function, or if I subtract to the whole function, basically what we are doing, take one example. Let us say you are having fx equal to x square. Then if I want to draw the graph of a new function, let's say x square plus 4. So here you can see that we are adding this plus 4 in the function. So what changes there will be in the graph of x square and how the graph of new function g of x will look like? See, we all know that graph of x square is like this, right? A vertical parabola, the upward parabola. Then this plus 4 is what? It is actually contributing to the value of y. Basically, it will increase the value of y. So what will happen? That the graph of gx will be nothing but that you have to shift the graph of fx by 4 units in the upward direction. So all the points will be shifted vertically by 4 units. So here you can see that in the table also we have this thing, that is f of x plus a. So how we draw its graph? By taking the vertical translation and by how much a units up. Okay, so here you can see that there we are having the arrow direction that is pointing towards up, and we have taken one example also. Similarly, if I subtract some constant, then what will happen? The vertical translation will happen, but it will now happen in the downward direction. Okay, so we are clear with the two basic transformation that is related to the vertical transformation. Now, if we go to the next part, that is what, when we multiply or divide by a particular constant, then what happens? Now, here you need to keep one thing in mind, that we have taken one assumption that a is greater than 0 and b is greater than 1. Sir, why you are doing that? Why you are not taking the case of b less than 1? Because b less than 1 is automatically covered in 1 by b. If some number is, let's say, greater than 1, let's say 2, if I take its reciprocal 1 by 2, it is automatically covering what? The less than 1 category. And if you are asking about like why you're taking a greater than 0, because we will study in the separate issue, that the separate topic, that what happens when we multiply with a negative sign. Okay, so that thing will also be covered. So let us quickly see that when we multiply with a constant number that is greater than 1, and if it is positive, what happens to the graph of the function? So what is happening? Just try to imagine. Let's say if we are having f of x square, but now if I have a new function, let's say 3x square. So what will happen? Earlier for x equal to 1, the value of y was 1, but now it will be 3. For earlier, let's say for x equal to 2, the value must have been like 2 square. Sorry, for 3 square it will be 9, but now it will be 3 times 3 square, that is 3 into 9, 27. So each value of y is nothing but getting 3 times. Okay, so what is happening here? That is, we will stretch the graph of the function by what scale factor? That is b. So are you getting the point, that we will stretch the graph? Similarly, when we are dividing by b, that is basically we are multiplying with a number that is less than 1, or we are dividing by a number that is greater than 1, both are the same things. Then what will happen? Then the graph will actually shrink. So basically here you can see that they have written that vertical stretch with scale factor 1 by b, but you can take this thing as that we are shrinking the graph of the fx function. Okay, now if we go for the next thing, that is minus fx. So what happens with minus fx? So here you can see that, learn it in very simple means. Let us say for f of x square. I'm taking very simple example so that you can connect it directly. So fx equal to x square. Now let us say the new function, let's say f dash x. Okay, actually we should not take f dash x, it represents the differentiation. So let us take a new function g of x. Now I have the new function as minus x square. Basically I have multiplied the whole function with the negative sign, right? So what will happen? Earlier for x equal to 2, the value of the y must have been 4. Earlier for x equal to 3, the value of y must have been 9. But now it will become what? Minus 4 and minus 9. So for the same value of x, now we're getting the negative value of y. So are you getting the point that what will happen? You simply need to take the reflection of the graph, the old functions graph, and you take the reflection of that by assuming x-axis as a mirror. Just try to imagine, if you simply assume x-axis as a mirror, you take the reflection or you rotate the graph of the function by 180 degree about the x-axis, then you will get the graph of the new function. Okay, so that is how we have covered the vertical translations. Now let us quickly focus on the horizontal transformations. Point is that earlier we added some number or subtracted some constant number to the whole function. Now what we are doing, we are replacing x with some x plus a, or we are replacing x with some x minus. Like let us say earlier my function was x square plus 2. Okay, now my new function g of x is nothing but x plus 3 whole square plus 2. So the whole definition has been changed and we have got a new function. So sir, how we can draw the graph of x plus 3 whole square plus 2? So what we will do, earlier when we were adding something or subtracting something to the whole function, the translation was happening in the vertical direction. But now if you're making a change to x, basically what you're doing, you are replacing x with x plus 3, or you are replacing x with, let's say, x minus 5. So you are replacing x, you are simply altering the position of x, or you are simply what, making the changes to x. Okay, in simple terms, what will happen, the translation will happen in the horizontal direction. Okay, because x is related to horizontal axis, you can learn it in that way. But what is happening here, and you need to keep in mind, when you are replacing x with x plus a, the translation is happening in the not right, it is in the left direction. Okay, I've seen many students, okay, who are confused that okay sir, x plus a, so we'll shift it in the right direction. Not at all. For x plus a, the translation will take place in horizontal direction, but in the left direction. So keep that in mind, what is happening when we are having x plus a. So horizontal translation, a units to the left. Similarly for x minus a, it will be unit to the right. So you can see that okay, you can easily learn the two things, okay, in pair, if you understand the concept very well. Now next thing is that earlier we were multiplying the constant by the whole function, right? Like okay, 2 times the whole function or 3 times the whole function. But now what we are doing, we are replacing x with 2x, 3x, or x by 5. So what will happen, same shrinking and stretching principle will work, but now it will be along the horizontal direction. And same that opposite principle that we have just discussed in the x plus and x minus a case will work also here. What is that, that when you are multiplying with, let's say, 2, basically you are replacing each x with 2x. Let us say if I show in my one example, if I replace fx with, or x with, let's say, 3x, then this function will become, h of x will become 9x square plus 2. So can you see that we are replacing x with 3x? So what will come to our mind, that okay, the graph must have been stretched, because we have learned similar kind of thing in the vertical, basically the vertical translation. Here the translation will simply work about the horizontal axis, but for bx, basically where b is greater than 1, the shrinking principle work. And similarly for x by b, basically you are multiplying x with a less than 1 number, or you are dividing x with a greater than 1 number, then the stretching function will work. So just try to imagine that what is happening when you are making a change to x, horizontal place will work, horizontal, along the horizontal axis the things will work, but also opposite things. Like when we had x plus a, left translation, x minus a, right translation, bx is there, then shrinking, and then for x by b, the stretching. And the similar things, basically the opposite things will work in the vertical translation. The last thing is that when we are having what, when we replace the x with minus x. So you can see that when we are replacing x with minus x, so I'll give you one very good example for this. Okay, let us take, let's say, fx equal to x cube minus 4. Now let's say for f of 1, we will have what, 1 minus 4, that is minus 3, and we'll see that f of minus 1 will be what, you can see that it will become minus 1 is minus 1, so minus 1 minus 4 minus 5. But now see, if my new function, that is g of x, how I am getting that, by replacing x with negative x. Okay, so I'm replacing x with negative x, so this will become minus x cube minus 4. So now you can see that what will happen, g of 1 will be what, that will be minus 5, and g of minus 1 will become minus 3. So you can see that what is happening, the switching is taking place, or the rotation is taking place by 180 degree, or we can say that reflection is taking place about the x-axis, sorry, y-axis, but that is what about the y-axis, by taking y-axis as a mirror. So keep this thing in mind. So if you just remember these 8 transformation, trust me, just try to go for 2 to 3 questions, okay, from the previous set, the specimens. Definitely you will sure score the full marks in this particular topic, because they directly ask you the question in which you have to simply solve the graph, okay, or draw the new graph. One thing that I want to give you as a tip, what is that, that sometimes I've seen students, okay, be confused. Let us say, I'll show you one example. No problem, I'll take 2 more minutes. If I have fx equal to x square, then let's say g of x is what new function 2x square minus 5. Then here we can see that there are two transformation taking place. We're subtracting 5 also, and we're multiplying 2. So sir, in which basically format we should go, or we should proceed the transformation? You can do it in any way. First you can take what, plus 5, so vertical translation by 5 units, and then what we are doing, we are having the 2x square, okay, so what we are having here, that will be 2x square plus 5. Are you getting the point? So this can be simply done by replacing x with root 2x, but it will be a little bit tedious task for many students, okay. So what I will suggest here, that go for what, that first multiply with 2 to the x square, this is the thing, and then subtract 5. Okay, here it is actually, just a second, it is not plus 5, it is minus 5. So with question practice only, you will get the thing that okay, how the translation is working. But yes, it doesn't matter that in which way you are proceeding with the transformations. Okay, so this was the whole topic of the transformation. I hope you like the video. Please subscribe the channel, and we'll keep bringing you such quality videos for all the students. Thank you for watching the video.